in England. Mohammed, good to see you. Good to have you back on the program. So we just heard the CEO of BioNTech there telling DW that he is confident that his vaccine in its existing form can be effective against this new virus strain, but he cannot be entirely sure. Given that information, do you think that vaccinations should still go on?
Oh, yes, absolutely. One of the primary reasons is that this new variant would not really jeopardize the vaccine efficacy is that the mutations that we have seen within the spike protein, the one that make the crown-shaped structure onto the surface of the virus, those are very few compared to the total length of the protein. So the antibody responses are against the entire length of the protein. So therefore, even one or two mutations occur, that's not going to completely make the vaccine ineffective. So therefore, the vaccines that are approved, both Moderna and the BioNTech as well as the Pfizer, that would be all effective because there is the immunity against the whole entire protein, not just at a specific single point.
Okay, so that is good news, but how dangerous is this new strain?
Yes, that is something we are really concerned, and that is one of the things that has really surfaced very recently, is that out of 23 mutations that we have noticed within this new variant, 7 of them, they are in the spike protein that make the surface of this virus. And any mutation that come into the spike protein is of critical importance, mainly for the transmission of this virus. So if we look onto those specific mutations, 2 of those mutations are at a critical site that allow the virus to bind to our cell and enter into our body. So that is making the virus more infectious, more transmissible, and around 70% higher transmission has been reported for this virus. So that is really something that we have to look very carefully so it does not predominate, not only in the UK, but beyond.
Yeah, let's talk about transmission. The head of Germany's disease control agency was asked today whether he thinks that this new virus strain is already in the country. Here, let's take a look at what he said.
We know that the strain in the United Kingdom was first detected in September. We also know that it was found in the Netherlands and Denmark. This means there is a likelihood that this strain has already reached Germany undetected. I think the probability of this is very, very high.
So, Mohammed, if that's the case, what do you think of these measures that have been taken of closing borders and stopping travel with Britain?
Well, one thing is really true, Swimming, is that, if you recall from the very beginning of this pandemic, most of the infections from Wuhan, China, moved to other countries through travel, through social contacts, and so on. So now that we have identified this new variant here in the UK, certainly there are possibilities that it is already reaching to other countries because it was first identified back in September. And at that point, it wasn't predominant. So chances for people to specifically pick up that strain and then having the possibility to escape the test that is conducted onto the airport and then to be really moving into any naive country, that is pretty slim. But having said that, we have to make sure that this strain is not disseminated not only in the Europe but also in any other countries, because if it is 75% more transmissible and if this becomes predominant strain, that is going to make a really big trouble for the transmission and the infection toll.
So how do we do that, Mohammed, beyond the vaccine, because that will take some time to get rolled out?
Well, that is really the big challenge. And at this moment, I think it is even more worrisome because we are in the festive season, and even without having this new variant, the infection rate would increase, and the first couple of weeks in January, February would be very hard to have a high number of infection. But I think the only way really to emphasize is that vaccine is on the way. The efforts that we put so far are working, just to make sure, please follow all those rules and regulations that have been put in place on the social contact, onto the face covering, and do follow more than ever, because this festive season is really a major worry for me, seeing the high number of infection in coming days.
Virologist Mohammed Munir from Lancaster University joining us. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.